Hey everyone, Ark here, and in today's video we'll be looking at this really cool graveyard control deck which I used to get 12 wins in a grand challenge. So this deck is pretty defensive. It has the Ice Electro Wizard, the Bowler, and the Inferno, as well as the Ice Golem, which are really solid defensive cards. And then you can use those cards and transition them into an offensive push with the graveyard and poison combo. And now what's so good about the poison is that it kills the skeleton army in one tick. So you can easily combine it with the graveyard to kill counters such as skeleton army, minion horde, minions or archers pretty easily and dish out tons of damage. So without further ado, let's hop into the replays. So the first replay is against Abraham from Dark Royale's top, who is playing a kind of defensive Goblin Barrel Lightning deck. So I start off with the minions to cycle while he starts with the Furnace. I put my bowler in the back so that I can try to make a big push and answer with the graveyard. So right here he puts his Electro Wizard, which gives me really good value for my poison because it kills the Furnace as well as the Wizard. I log his Goblin Barrel and then put down my graveyard for some good damage. Now unfortunately he had his Skeleton Army here, so my graveyard really wasn't able to do that much. But that's alright, we have a slight, no, we're even in elixir, and now that we know what his deck is like, we can deal with it accordingly. So he sets up with another furnace, and now luckily for me the furnace splits apart, so none of the fire spirits will actually get any damage on my tower. I put my bowler in the back again, and this time he actually shows me that he has a giant. So luckily for me I have the Inferno tower, so I can deal with it pretty easily. So since we don't have anything really good in cycle, we just place our Inferno tower, and then we poison here, which was really bad for me because I not only missed the Electro Wizard but I missed the Musketeer as well. So this guy has a pretty big push on me, but I'm able to counter it with my Log and Electro Wizard. So here he surrounds my Electro Wizard and kills it with his Skarmy, well played by him. But since my Inferno Tower was still up, it helped tank and kill the Skeleton Army for me. So we're resetting. We place our bowler in the back and start our big push. So here I go aggressive with my Ice Golem and Graveyard, and I wait for him to drop something and then poison. And now this poison was really good because it caught his Musketeer and his Ice Golem. So I got good damage with my Graveyard and poison, and then completely shut down his incoming counter push. So I set up my Inferno to shred the giant and hit the Goblin Barrel with the log. Unfortunately, one of the goblins got a stab in, but that's not the big of deal. Now this was a bad lightning for him because it gave me a pretty big elixir advantage, and I was able to dish out my graveyard poison combo, which he really didn't have a good answer to. Now again we place our bowler in the back, but now the game is pretty much done because all we need to do is put down one more graveyard and poison. So that's exactly what we do. We set up our graveyard, we put down our poison. Actually we don't, we put down our Inferno, which we probably shouldn't have, since poison and graveyard would have done the deal. But we poison, then we log, or not, we put our bowler and we kill his Goblin Barrel with the log. And right now we just need one more poison. So we just put down our graveyard and drop, say, a GG, and that's game. Okay, so hopping on into the next one. So this was one of the losses that I had in the Grand Challenge. It was when I accidentally hopped into a match with my ladder deck, which is the 2.6 hog cycle, and faced a pretty hard counter, so that was a bit unlucky. Now moving on, let's hop into a match against Jim from the Finland clan, who is using a Golem Graveyard deck. Now let's see how this matchup goes. So starting off, we don't have a very good hand, so we just cycle with our minions, split them up, and see what our opponent does. So he drops his golem, so I know he's pretty low on elixir, so I make a ice golem graveyard push on the other side and see how he reacts. Now he didn't have a really good counter for my graveyard in hand, so my graveyard was able to deal over 1000 damage to his tower. And I was able to successfully counter his golem with my inferno, so it was a pretty good play for me, which put me on top. Now we're both resetting, we're both even on elixir. Unfortunately his mega minion got a shot in, but I didn't really have any good counter for it, which was cheap. So we start off our push with the bowler in the back. Our opponent is wasting a lot of elixir, which is not good for him. So we support our bowlers with minions, I believe, yes, and put the ice golem forward to tank the electro wizard. So here I didn't put down my inferno tower because I already had plenty of support troops. So I just put my electro wizard and start preparing for a counter push against him. So I just wait for my electro wizard to kill his electro wizard and then drop down my graveyard. So he logs, well, I don't necessarily agree with that play, to be honest. I mean, it was well played, but my graveyard still did about 500 damage, I believe, so I still came out on top. Now we're resetting again, even on elixir, but I am massively in the lead. He even let my minion get a swing in, which is pretty good. So at this point I know I've pretty much won the game, because all I need is maybe 1 or 2 more good graveyard pushes, and I can pretty easily defend his golem push since he doesn't have a lightning spell or even a zap. Well, he does have a zap, but zap's not that good. So this was a really valuable poison here, because not only did it kill his electro wizard, but it also killed his skeleton army in one tick. So right now he reveals his poison spell to me, but luckily I have my ice golem and minions, which are really solid counters for poison spell, as long as your opponent doesn't have a poison, which this dude does not. So with 17 seconds to go, all we have to do is defend. He throws out a well played, and I guess he knows that the game is over as well, so one more log would seal the deal. We drop the GG, and that's about it. So our final game for the Grand Challenge will be against this Chinese guy who is using a 3 Musketeer deck. So let's see how the 3 Musketeer matchup goes. So starting off again, not a very good hand, so we just have to cycle with our minions. Our opponent cycles with his Ice Spirit and pumps up. So right now we pretty much have to poison his pump because we don't have anything better to do, so I just put down my Ice Golem to cycle to my poison and poison his pump. So he decides to counter my Ice Golem with skeletons, well played by him, because this doesn't allow my Ice Golem to reach the tower and do any sort of chip damage to it. He places his knight in the back, so I do the same with my bowler. And at this point he reveals his 3 musketeers. So I put down my Inferno Tower for defense. He decides to play his minion horde. So what I do is I zap the minion horde with my Electro Wizard, and then put my Ice Golem to tank for the musketeer. So this was pretty well played by my opponent because he was able to get some chip damage on my tower. And right here my opponent pretty effectively counters my bowler with his 1 elixir skeleton, so well played to him. Now we're resetting again. I believe he pumps at this point, yep. So pretty much what we do right here is go aggressive with our graveyard because he doesn't really have a good counter for it. And now we poison the pump so that he doesn't get any elixir advantage, and we also get some nice chip damage on his tower. So we're even on elixir again, but again this was a very well played attack by us because we got a lot of chip damage on him. Now unfortunately he cycled back to his pump, and there's basically nothing we can do about that. So we just start off our big push with the bowler. He is wasting elixir a little bit, that's fine. He decides to play his knight and then backs it up with his 3 musketeers. We go aggressive with our graveyard and then we poison, which really luckily catches his minion horde. So that wasn't very well played by him since he already knew what my push was. So now all we have to do is defend the other side, which we do pretty effectively with our bowler and ice golem. So if you guys didn't know that already, bowler does super well against 3 musketeers because it's really tanky and it also knocks them back. So we go aggressive again with our graveyard and poison push because if by any chance this goes into the overtime for 2 crowns, we have an insurance policy. So at this point he basically didn't do any damage on my towers, so that's pretty much GG. So there. So this deck is actually pretty solid. It has really good counters for everything in the meta, for Hog Rider, for Lava Loon, for 3 Musketeers. So I definitely recommend you guys try it out. And to finish it off, let's open our Grand Challenge chest. So we get 22,000 gold, pretty nice. The Goblin Gang, okay. Giant, not bad. Battle Ram, Rocket, alright. Valkyrie, don't really use that. Barbarians, okay. Elixir Pump, Minions, okay, not bad. Skeleton Army, let's hope we can get a legendary in this one. Dart Goblin, no legendary. Let's see what epic we get. Rage. Well, that was a disappointing Grand Challenge chest to say the least. Well, anyways, thanks for watching guys, really appreciate it. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and drop down any questions you have in the comment section. I'll be more than happy to answer them, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.